When we see a school-going child, one of the first things that we notice is their heavy bag. Young children bend down and have various issues related to the spinal cord because of the weight of their school bag. To reduce this physical burden, the Karnataka government has implemented measures to reduce the number of textbooks by 50% for students in classes 1 to 10 starting from the academic year 2024. This discussion is not new though. It goes back to the 1993 Yashpal Committee, which had given the report Learning Without Burden and suggested that children shouldn't have heavy bags. Under the new directive, students will have 2 books each year instead of receiving all books annually. This initiative will increase the printing cost but perhaps reduce students' burden. As per the guidelines, the weight of school bags will be 1.5 to 2 kgs for classes 1 and 2, 2 to 3 kgs for classes 3 to 5, 3 to 4 kgs for classes 6 to 8, and 4 to 5 kgs for classes 9th and 10th. Let us talk to various authorities like educationists, education ministers, and school authorities to know their opinions about this decision.
As soon as I took over as Ministry of Education Department, so a lot of complaints were there, when I keep interacting with children and all, even parents also. So there was this thing saying that, why don't you, make it, I said unnecessarily, even they were also carrying unnecessary books also, which were necessary otherwise, not sometimes that used to happen. So what we have done is, we have divided. More in details I can tell you, little bit later because that is under almost finalization. So we have divided as first half, second half, and in near future we want to come in as even instead of notebooks, note sheets. So you write, go back home and file it. So what happens is you take sheets, not all notebooks. You have to work out, but they have to get used to it. So in our SCP, these are the things also which are going to come, because so these are the kind of little bit of help what we can give for them to be more lighter. And actually I've seen a video where one small child was trying to lift a bag after keeping it on the footpath. So because of the heavy, he falls back, but on the bag, but on the footpath only. If it is on the road, so that's when I decided, something we have to do and then do our best for their safety also. It is not only excess baggage, it is about their safety also. I have not heard of any of these circulars. I think it is the responsibility of the institution also, whether the child is carrying the necessary notebooks or even extra they are carrying, and well informed they should be. I don't think children are very well informed. That's what I feel. They might be right also, but from my side, what I have seen, we want to send a circular very clearly that this is what you want, and a little bit of changes they might do. It's very marginal. It's not very, only the covering sheet, but there also the GSM and all, because it will be 50% used. It will not be, if you are using, if it is a more usable, more thicker, less usable, less thicker. So that's what I'm telling you. All those modalities we have to work out. But end of the day, if we are doing all these things in the interest of children, I think it is not about cost. It is about safety and excess bag. You all show excess of baggage on media, and you all show no excess of budget also. Right. No, I think we have to, somewhere we have to, sometimes it does cost, I won't say no, but end of the day, safety and the issue, that's very important.
See, by and large in Karnataka, when it is, the textbooks are being provided by Textbook Society of Karnataka, and these books from earlier, they are almost matching with the age appropriate, standard appropriate, international standard, that body weight, within 15% of the body weight. It is already there. Again, dividing that into 2 parts, we are not finding any much importance of it. But we have a demand that from 1 to 4th, you have to revise par with NCF and NCERT curriculum framework, which has not been done from past 17 years. The books are not age appropriate, standard appropriate, and it is substandard. Books are being provided to state board and government schools. We have a biggest demand from several years. These things are not addressed, and here only somewhere with change of, there are 44 books they have been cut down this year. Means they are not been provided which were there last year. all these are still under by and large confusion.
Okay, to give a brief history of the background of why the Department of State Education, Research and Training, DCERT as it is called, has come out with this new directive that all state government schools in Karnataka would be, ensuring that the maximum load of school bag of a child should not exceed 15% of the child's body weight, along with the outcome that, SA1 and SA2 textbooks are going to be printed separately and issued separately to reduce the load on a child, and maybe followed up with one more very brilliant idea that once a week a child should go to school without bags. And this I can tie back to the 1993 Yashpal Verma committee, which started from the premise learning without load. So all this starts from the basic idea. It is, I have recently come across an article which talks about the alarming rise of spinal injuries in India, particularly among young adults. What has happened is, if you could step a few years back, during COVID, children who were kept away from digital gadgets like phones and tabs were compulsorily had to go and rely on those very same digital gadgets to continue their education. Now, post-COVID, when the schools have reopened and the children are back in the school and the classroom atmosphere, weaning them away has been truly a great challenge for all parents. It is very difficult to take a child away from its phone or a tab because it has now found avenues of entertainment along with education in the very same digital gadgets. This leads to a very sedentary lifestyle starting as early as the age of 5 and 6 amongst all children belonging to all economic strata. It is a very welcome decision by DCERT and the state government of Karnataka, and I wholeheartedly support this. And I would further implore the educational minister to consider, along with this no bag once a week, compulsory yoga and PT, which is your physical training, physical exercises, games, compulsorily for 20 to 30 minutes every day that a child attends school, and as early as first grade onwards, so that playing a sport not only enhances their physical health, it also mentally increases their sportsmanship. It prepares them for success and failure in their life. So it makes them all-round, well-rounded personalities. I would implore the DCERT to include this also. It would be a welcome idea to try and implement this across private schools also. About taking papers instead of notebooks, I would suggest that you have one compound notebook for all subjects, which is for classwork, and one compound notebook which is for all subjects, which is for the homework or revision, and just one small rough notebook. Paper, as we all know, comes from trees, and as an educationist, I can tell you that it's an ongoing exercise for me to tell children that paper always comes from trees, and if we use paper optimally, we can reduce the cutting of trees and protect our environment. So going back, I'm speaking from that perspective. Instead of using loose paper, which again for the management, keeping it, storing it, going back to it, referring back to it, everything would be a logistical issue for the school, for the parent and the student. I would recommend that you have these 5-in-1 notebooks or 3-in-1 notebooks, and you use those kind of notebooks for classwork and for homework. One book for homework and one small book for a diary or a rough note where the child can diligently note down what has to be done the next day. So this is my suggestion and request to DCERT and to the Education Ministry of Karnataka.
This is a positive step from the government, but perhaps more needs to be done to reduce the physical strain on young students. Moreover, the government should ensure that the measures are effectively implemented in both private and government schools. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think about this decision? Subscribe to Daily Salar Digital for more such updates.